Well, let's stay with that story for a bit longer. We're now joined by HP Ranina, corporate lawyer, and Kritika Saxena, who's been following that story, is also in the studio in Bombay. Kritika, why don't you take over?
Thank you so much, Arif. Mr. Raina, my first question to you, as Varinder and Naveen were explaining, this is perhaps one of the first audit or one of the first findings wherein a group company has been implicated. What is the legal cost that Mangalore Chemicals has for now, and what is the kind of legal ramification that will fall now on Zuari as well as on the UB Group?
Well, Mangalore Chemicals will now be able to take action in case of any fraud being detected or any diversion of funds which were unauthorized. They'll be entitled to receive back the funds to claim the amount. And if any loans were given to that company, then obviously it would be an interrelated party transaction, and therefore under the Companies Act also action can be taken. If that company, the company does not repay the money, then of course that kind of company can be liquidated. So those companies which default on the repayment of the loans can also face the prospects of liquidation. That is a very serious thing that can happen.
So you would...
Apart from that, there are issues like whether there was any diversion of funds, whether there were bogus expenditure claimed. All that will be seen from the forensic audit report.
So this is an initial finding that they have come up with. Do you expect there to be more details or a more detailed finding or an investigation conducted by the company and EY now herewith?
Yeah. In fact, just now there is no finding. There's only a suspicion that there has been diversion of funds. Therefore, they have appointed Ernst & Young to conduct a forensic audit, which will go into all the details of the transaction and see how and where the money has gone. They'll see the money trail, and once the money trail reveals that there has been siphoning out of funds or expenditure of some other companies being claimed, then obviously they will start moving against the other company.
You talk about irregularities, sir. Is this across the board? They've said irregularities and they've said mismanagement. So I'm trying to understand, when you say irregularity, is this siphoning off of funds? Is this specific fund diversion? What exactly would the repercussions or what exactly would the term irregularities entail in that preference issue and the transaction with Bangalore Beverage Investment?
No, whether it's irregularity or not will have to be established, whether the funds have been legitimately transferred for a business purpose or whether the funds were transferred for an extraneous purpose, and how the funds have actually been used. All that will have to be seen. That is why the forensic auditor is very crucial, because he goes into the minute details of every transaction. Now, once those details are available, then the decision will be taken whether this is a case of diversion, whether it's a case of just irregularity, or whether it's a case of misappropriation. All these things are then the consequences will follow. And whatever you may call it, the question is, the money has to be recovered by the company which has given the money. That money must come back to the company. Otherwise, the shareholders, minority shareholders, and everybody stands to lose. And
Correct.
That is where the legal action will begin.
So as you said, they can move court or they have various options. What specifically do you expect Mangalore Chemicals can do now? Would they go ahead and move the Bombay High Court, or would they move the CLB? What would be the most obvious step that they need to take right now?
No, just now they can't do anything. They have to wait for the report of the auditor, the Ernst & Young. Because just now they are only suspicious about certain transactions. They have to now exactly go to the bottom of the transaction, see what exactly those transactions are. And once Ernst & Young gives a specific report, then they will decide. They have all the options. They can go to Company Law Board, they can go to Bombay High Court, they can ask the company to repay, they can ask the company for damages. Whatever they have to do, they will do. All the legal recourses available to them.
Do you believe, Mr. Ranina, that this is just one example? Because there are multiple holding companies, multiple transactions that Vijay Mallya had conducted in the last 10 years that are being investigated independently. Do you believe that there is just one instance? Are there other instances that will also come into light now?
Well, I can't say whether it will come to light, but obviously if the auditors do due diligence, then they will come to light, and all this will become known. In fact, what is surprising me is why did not the company, before they took over the Mallya's company, why did they not undertake a due diligence?
Well, so
Normally,
the
whenever-
question of due diligence has been going on for a while across the group companies. But I'm afraid, Mr. Ranina, very short on time. Thank you so much for joining in with your perspective.